Shalom, Israel. I'm Priest and Officer of 5000 Laban of the Israelite School of UPK under Commanding General Yohana, here to share a very important public service announcement to all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians who currently suffer under the stigma and plagues associated with a felony conviction. If you're a member of our community, you know all too well the difficulties in trying to obtain adequate housing, a decent job, your credit is all jacked up, and 100% of the time, you lose your Second Amendment right to bear arms to protect you and your family against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But that stops here. This year, during our 8th annual Fire Weekend, Friday, August the 1st in Chicago, we're launching a brand new service for Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Due to recent Supreme Court rulings and the tireless work of Commanding General Yohana, it is now possible to clean your record and restore your Second Amendment rights. Join us Friday, August the 1st at 9909 Roosevelt Road, Westchester, Illinois, 60154. To RSVP, call 586-382-0569. If you're out of state, visit us at www.isupk.org, search for your city, and contact the head of the school in your zone to access this services where you are. This is your shot to clean your slate. Don't miss it. Shalom.
You mean everything to me because I know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, that Father, this is real. Will you watch over them? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you called for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they don't follow the law, they doing it. You said under Yahweh Shai, they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
We're in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. When we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, 4th in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother. Macho! Barak! Yeshabim, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to priest General Lahal.
Good morning, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
UPK soldiers got them killers with me, and I don't fuck with every spot cause it's too iffy. Real motherfucking prophet cause the Lord with me, but don't get that shit twisted, I got Drakes with me. Yeah, bitch, and that whole 50. Run up on me wrong, you gon' catch 60. Wait, you gon' catch 20. The other 30 for your homies, bitch, I got plenty. And I'll shoot this motherfucker till that clip empty. Taking orders from your bitch, you a fucking simpy. Shit, should be televised. The way I'm cutting niggas up, bitch, I'm a samurai. Niggas swear they in the truth, but telling hella lies. Stumping like you Greek, bitch, you Hellenized. The revolution gon' be televised, and what I see in my vision gon' leave you petrified.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
UPK soldiers lead cowards in awe. So fuck a gas stop, I came with 6 pumps in my car. My niggas ready to swing, we like kids at the park. So touch a chair around this bitch and we breaking your jaw. They think we Christian, but we not. Nothing about us is soft. I don't know what you niggas on, but that shit get you off. We booted up. We came to take zones for real. Black 40 under my garment, I be dressed to kill. Fourth dimension sitting linger, I be fresh for real. Putting scripts on your corners, but these here ain't pills. We rock covers. You official if you know those drills. Bread and water, you official if you know those meals. Yeah, you niggas soldiers get rolled over. You got police in your pocket, I got a judge in my holster. Oppressors out to get us, so remain sober. Or be chained to them chains till there's nothing that remains of us. A cult leader like Christ, we got the same culture. I bang on them, tell my enemies the reign's over. I up the cig and keep pulling like a chain smoker. The game ain't changed, One West stayed the same on them.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Niggas talking prophets, yeah, we got plenty. We the reason why it's Israelites around the city. Karkazak tells the rock, bring Shamar out. We about to slide on them, see what niggas talking about. Young dog think he wise cause he a Kim head. That shit lame, they didn't survive, nigga, Kim is dead. Where I'm from, little nigga, is a dirty game. I pledge allegiance to Yahweh, bitch, I'm UPK. Huh, nigga, let's talk bodies. Set up on your corner, wake up everybody. Big priest, until I'm dead deceased. The mission is complete until you're off the street. Saw y'all on the internet, stumping down the street. But take the poor and the weak. Touch your sister or a brother, you gon' be sleep. But take the poor and the weak.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Fucking with the brothers, then I'm giving out major pain. Clip full of ball heads, I'm shooting out Damon Wayne's. Driven ambition, I ain't never changing lanes. Wise as an old man, but I ain't slanging cane. This ain't a game, this shit way deeper than rap. You speaking the cap, but the shit y'all speaking is cap. I'm 5,000, but I still keep it a stack. I'm in the truth, not cause back then I was seeking the facts. Crying loud for the niggas just deep in the back. And the Lord with me, ain't no reason for keeping the strap. We peep the attacks, niggas say we ain't speaking the facts. Stealing breakdowns every time we teaching in class. Niggas snitching, y'all out here squeaking with rats. We be on the street corners teaching that Jesus is black.
We on 125th Street, Harlem, nigga, you see where we at?
one West, one West. That's who we are, nigga. One West, one West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West, one West.
Ironic.
You know the truth is the truth, that's all I know. Cry loud and spare not, you gon' get exposed. A few real niggas left, you not one of those. Real soldiers, we was born to stand 10 toes. If he ain't one West, that nigga not one of mine. He got a purple 12, me, I got a black 9. The truth is the wife of my youth, chop of my concubine. Had to die to get my rib, that bitch forever mine. You know the game, a bishop gotta be blameless. But GMS teaching niggas to be rapists. They screaming we snitch. When Joel Morgan was killed by your brother, y'all ain't say shit. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs.
Hey, 100 deep, 100 shields on, that's 100 priests. 100 boots, that's 200 feet. Tongue like a sword when I fucking speak. Teach you how to fish instead of fucking leech. Stop selling drugs instead of trying to fuck with Meech. Knowledgeable, but I'm rude in my fucking speech. Life is about warfare, not no fucking peace. Bitch, I cry loud when I fucking speak. Make them wait a year before they fuck with me. Turn a street nigga to a fucking priest. Cross a priest and I promise you forever sleep.
Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Latah Bahashem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. We are the ISUPK. Started out 125th Street, Harlem, New York, right? Under Commanding General Yohana. And the ISUPK has been teaching blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, who they are, and the truth to this Bible since 1969. No other Israelite affiliation, which means we are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. Them red and white guys, them fringes wearing mini skirt guys,
right?
And them purple guys. You know, I'm being politically correct because they keep trying to holler at me on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. Right, so we're not affiliated with those so-called men, and I do say so-called men because they're liars and effeminate, and they don't follow the truth. And you know, we'll say this: if you're not in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, you're not in the truth. You're that fake Israelite group that you're affiliated with. You are Christian. That's what you are. You're the same as a Muslim, a Christian. You know. The what's to call it? The individualites. I had a sister tell me today that she taught herself the truth. All right.
If I could have one.
real quick. How you been lied to your whole life, but you taught yourself the truth?
That's wild. Yeah, that's wild. You know, something I love about the truth is like the scriptures say, it's the most powerful thing on earth. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing in life, what it is that you believe.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing that's gonna overcome the truth. And so, like the words of General Muhammad says is, let's go to war and we'll see. You know what I mean? Because like I've been watching, you know, these past couple months, so many people falling. You know what I mean? So many people falling, so many people who claim to be in the truth, claim to be representatives of God, and you know, just time and time again, you know, right from Christianity's inception back in the Roman Catholic Church, it always fails. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. I'm like, well, what the Christian church is at like 4,000 different denominations.
Man,
it just keeps falling. It's over and over and over. Somebody is going to find a lie in what it is you teach. Somebody is going to find something wrong with what it is that you believe in, because Christianity was built off lies. It can't stand. You know what I mean? In the ISUPK since 1969, we've been here and we're standing. and we'll see. We'll see if somebody takes us down.
Damn right. You know what? If you have an issue with what we say, you have an issue with what we do, right? Come down to the class, come down to, one of our events and talk to us, chop it up. We promise that'll be the safest place you will be in this total United States is anywhere that the ISUPK is at. Don't listen to the rumor saying these things are, matter of fact, what was that we were at? We had a discussion with some fake Israelites at the in Chicago.
Right.
In Chicago at the Midwest Fire Weekend. If you missed that, you missed the time. Right. So at the Midwest Fire Weekend, we had some individuals from some unaffiliated Israelite associations. That's what I call them. Right, associations, right? So these individuals showed up, and we was playing spades and dominoes, chopping it up with them, and as we play cards, think about it. We chat, we talk. So we're sitting there talking to them about what's going on and current events, and how they see things and how we see things, and we get to a discussion about why is the ISUPK the home of the truth. So I'm talking with a sister, and one of the brothers over me came over there, got to chopping it up with a sister. So I stood down and let them handle it, and then the general was talking to their leader at the time about the same thing. So we pulled 2 and 3 separate discussions all into one up under the general, and he broke everything down to these Israelite associates, and he broke everything down to him, and he broke it down to him so smooth and so plain, right? You could just see their leader, his mouth dropped, and then he want to go ahead, like Captain Tazaria always say, and then move the goalposts, right? And the general was on like, that's not what we're talking about, huh? And a lot of times when these other groups and Christians, when you back them into a corner, they want to move the goalposts. They want to change. No, that's not what. Let's stay on subject. If we're talking about why is the ISUPK the home of the truth, let's stay on subject. Let's not get off into something else. Well, we believe. All right, we're not saying what you believe. You asked us why we're the home of the truth, right? Then we'll get into why you are incorrect. First, dude had fringes on the bottom of his t-shirt. Came in there with a big old long mini skirt, and like I bring up, LeBron showed extreme brotherhood to these fake Israelite guys. Because the first thing he said, he say, listen here, Ak. He broke it down to why they wasn't supposed to wear fringes on the bottom of their t-shirt, and then he say, let me get you a real shirt. And he was gonna buy this brother a shirt, and this was a big fella, so his shirt wasn't cheap. Usually, shirts run $30-$35. His probably would have been $45-$50. This was a 5X wearing individual. But when I seen that, it was like, man, that right there shows that regardless of what we do in this truth, we gotta educate our brothers and bring them in. The slightest misinformation. Look at the name of this class. America is what? Hold on. Let me take these off. Can't see that well. American practices lead to mass incarceration, right? That's because, the first thing the first thing we would probably pull was probably Hosea 4:6, and just paraphrasing, saying our people are perishing because lack of knowledge. Yep, but we're mass incarcerated because we don't know things. We don't know how to and sometimes it's just the devil is out there to get you. Right? Sometimes that devil, he's just out there to get somebody. We just had a brother here in Detroit a couple years ago where he was working for one of the big 3, and he's out in Inkster. He went out there and played some cards and fellowship with some of his homies, whatever they Christians do, whatever. I think they call it fellowship still. So he out there with his homies, and he's heading back to the city, and the police pull him over. They pull him over, and After they pull him over, they pull him out the car and search him. One of the officers found a bag of cocaine in the back of the car. In the back of the car. So regardless of how many people was in your car, that cocaine is yours.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And right here in America, unless you are Ronald Reagan or any of his affiliates, the distribution and manufacturing of cocaine is illegal. Right. So
If I could, I want to touch on that after you're done. please keep going.
Right? So, make a long story short, they end up locking him up. Right. This fool, the cop end up somehow he didn't turn his body cam off in the proper amount of time. So he snitched on himself.
Damn.
Snitched on himself, right? So he threw the cocaine in there. They got him doing it. Snitched on himself. And now this brother, has a lawsuit against the city of Detroit. I know an individual that's been locked up for 28 years, and he ended up getting affiliated with an innocence program. And they after the DNA test come back, figure out the crime he was accused of that is not his DNA.
Damn.
So with not being his DNA, he's going to be released, and they're coming up with a financial sum to give him. And I'm the type of person, I don't really give a damn what that financial sum is. I don't want to do a day, let alone 28 years. Like, share, subscribe, pay your tithes. Sir, you was going to say?
Damn right. Yeah, and kind of the flip side too, because this is a conversation I was having with somebody on the racism in Canada, and they're kind of from the perspective that it's not as bad in Canada as it is in the States, and I'm breaking down the truth to them, letting them know it don't matter where Blacks, Hispanics, or Indigenous are in this world, we're going to be mistreated by the people around us, because of the spirit that they have on them. And so, long story short, I start getting into, how do you judge somebody's character? You know what I mean? Like, how do you decide, who's safe to be around? You know what I mean? I bring up scriptures like we're sent as sheep amongst wolves and stuff like that. And this individual is saying, well, by hanging out with them and getting to know them, it's like it allows them the opportunity to see whether they're dangerous or not. And I'm like, at that point it's too late. And the thing that you had said that brought up the story was, I know friends, I know cousins, I know family who had somebody in their car, with a bag of cocaine. And they didn't know their boy had the bag of cocaine, or they didn't know their boy had the bag of pills. And the police pulled them over, and they're sitting in jail because, like the scriptures say, they didn't prove a friend.
Damn right.
You know what I mean, they didn't know that this man was doing X, Y, and Z, or maybe they did and didn't think their boy would be stupid enough to bring it in the car with them or bring it around them while they're chilling with them. And it's like, how many of our people get locked up because you just hanging around the wrong people? You know what I mean? And so there's so much knowledge and truth that we learn in this school, which is why it's so damn important to get in these classes and truly learn who the devil that the Bible speaks of is. Learn who your enemies are, learn who your allies are, and really come to this little sanctuary, like it says in Ezekiel, and find a place of peace, because I can go anywhere with you, Ahabawan, and I know I don't got to deal with that bullshit.
Ain't no cocaine in the car. In the car, you ain't got to worry about the getting pulled over because the police officer says I smell marijuana.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the big things going on here in especially in Detroit, right? The police will pull you over, and the first thing they want to say is I smell marijuana.
Right.
Oh, you don't smell in that big silver truck. You don't smell marijuana in that. The little white car, you don't smell marijuana in that. What color your car, sir?
God, the Jeep.
In that burgundy SUV.
Oh, God, yeah.
You won't smell marijuana in that. You know, you won't, right? You might see an empty cup. Because we don't drink and drive. We drink what
God.
drinking and driving is illegal. You must follow the law of the land.
Right.
So you know, we've seen the mass incarceration go on in America for, you know, since the end of slavery, right? I was looking up something earlier today because I just wanted to see when the KKK was founded, when it started, right? And guess what year the KKK started?
When's that?
The same year slavery so-called ended.
Right.
Right? Now, not to say these individuals like the Black Panthers and Medgar Evers and those individuals were, you know, Martin Luther King, they were not truth following individuals, right? They were not following the truth. But the FBI, which is, you know, part of the American government, set COINTELPRO operations against organizations like the Black Panthers that try to feed Black folk. Now, we've heard stories about how the FBI has tried to penetrate the ISUPK. I've heard a story where, you know, an individual was trying to, you know, get information and end up joining.
Con, yep.
So, I heard stories where, you know, not really stories. I've been around where the local law enforcement, the federal law enforcement, and state law enforcement raided a school. Right? They raided the Detroit school. You know, if you want to get the breakdown on that, talk to Cap and LeBron. Right? Understand, we in here teaching the truth, and they raid our school. Right? What is the probable cause to raid the school? And then what you gonna get out of here? Some pictures, you know, a couple of food boxes, some clothes. Think about what we do for the people. You know, background on the expungement programs, right? Speaking of the expungement program, right? Come down to the school. If you got any felonies that you want expunged, right? If you want to get, you know, look and see if you could get your gun rights restored, because everybody deserves to be able to protect themselves and their family, right? Understand that these oppressors, they're gathering themselves together and they're arming themselves because they believe that you, Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, are going to attack them, and there's going to be a race war, right? And I tell people, yes, there will be one, right? And Christ will lead it for us. Yahweh Shai will lead it for us, right? But understand this is that we have to be able to protect ourselves. Just say you did something 10, 20 years ago. I talked to a couple of brothers this weekend, and a lot of their convictions were 15 to 20 years ago. When you fill out a job application, the farthest they go back is 7 to 10 years. You know, when they say, have you ever been convicted of a felony? So if your conviction was 15 years ago, and you can technically put no on that, you could technically put no on that job application and be truthful, because they only go back 7 to 10 years. Now, some jobs, I tell you, they only go back 7 to 10 years and go back farther than that. And then when you put no on that job application, they say, hold on, you was convicted 20 years ago of a felony, and we're not going to hire you because McDonald's don't hire felons. Right. Why is it that, you know, because I had a drug charge 20 years ago, I can't flip a damn burger? You know, makes no sense to me. Sir?
Yeah, no, that's heavy, you know, especially when, you know, half the people working there are all drug addicts.
Yes, sir.
And I always think how stupid and hypocritical it is that, you know, so many of us were locked up over weed charges. You know what I mean? To now sit here and turn around and say weed's legal. You know what I mean? You sit here and say weed's legal, but yet you're not gonna hire me because I had some drug charge 15 years ago over marijuana. You sitting here getting high every single day. You know what I mean? Smoking out of a pipe every day on your lunch break because it's legal, but I can't get a job because I had some weed possession 15 years ago.
And
So-
that's heavy. That's heavy. Slocky, sir. Slocky. Man, that's heavy because, right, just say you had some weed charge 15 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now marijuana is legal. Shouldn't you be released?
Yeah.
Because now marijuana is legal. And with marijuana being legal, right? Marijuana being legal, you should be released from those marijuana possession charges should immediately drop. You know, some states years ago they had a what did they call it? Zero something law where no matter how much if you had cocaine on you, and they had a zero policy law or something like that, no matter how much of it you had on you, they're giving you a chunk of time.
Yeah.
Giving you a chunk of time, no matter how much it is, you know, a tenth or whatever to all the way up to whatever it is, right? I think it's some laws got it as 50 grams or less, right? So you can have up to 50 grams. Think about it. 50 grams is what? Almost 2 ounces, right? 40, 58, yeah, almost 2 ounces, right? So yeah, I can math, I can count. You can have up to 2 ounces of some illegal substance, and then you can have a tenth of the same illegal substance, and you're going to get the same amount of time.
Right. Yeah.
Here in Michigan, what was that? Tim the Tool Man Taylor. You remember him?
God, yeah.
Tool Man Taylor. I forget what his name is. I just know the show. But he got caught with a significant amount of cocaine. Right? He got caught with a significant amount of cocaine and ratted out on some people, and he didn't do prison time.
Right.
And look at him now; he's making millions as an actor. Right? He's making millions as an actor when he should be in jail with our brothers and sisters for having cocaine. Because our brothers and sisters only had crack rock. And if you know, the crack has cocaine in it, right? So if you got 50 grams of crack and 50 grams of cocaine, you got more cocaine than you got you got more of a drug concentration in the cocaine, in the 50 grams of cocaine, than you do in the 50 grams of crack. You know, you got baking soda and whatever else you may mix with that.
Right.
You know. So, right. And what I did was since we're talking about mass incarceration, sir, I started to look up certain things. Well, we know, being in the UPK, why our black brothers and sisters, and when I say black, I mean black, Native American, Hispanics, I'm talking about all the 12 tribes. So why are our brothers and sisters so highly incarcerated right here in America? Right? And I'm gonna bring up 3 things that stood out, and you tell me whether this is American policy or not. Right? So the 3 things that was brought out in this AI search was for the reason black people are highly convicted and incarcerated in the United States. The first one is slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first one is slavery. The second one is black code. Right? The third and fourth one.
What was that one again? You say black code?
Yep.
Okay.
Black codes are like vagrancy laws that criminalize everyday behavior for being black, really, for being free black. What it does is it funnels them to convicting and what it says into convict leasing system, right? Understand the convict leasing system was where a brother go to jail and the prison would lease them out to organizations to do work.
Okay.
That's slavery, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right? Because understand this is that if you watch that program, the commercial for 50 cents a day, you could feed a little African boy with a fly walking across his eye. What's that? What's that? Right? For 50 cents a day, you could feed one. But these brothers is making 50 cents a day, less than 50 cents a day with this convict leasing program.
Right.
That's I cannot remember. What was that? Was that a United Way? Was that it was United Way. For 50, remember the oversized double she would get on there? Right. Now these little Africans are starving and hungry, skinny with big bellies because of all the rice they eat. Ain't missed a meal in years talking about for 50 cents. Bitch, give me some of your food.
Good.
She big as hell. Talking about if you can spare 50 cents a day, as much as a cup of coffee. If you spare one meal, you could feed a damn tribe over there. One meal a day. She was a big lady. So but let's get back to it, sir. So historical, policies like Jim Crow and segregation. Now, segregation, I will have to look into. The reason being is that segregation helped fuel the Black economy. And what I mean is that when we were segregated, that means during we'll say the 50s and the 60s, our people owned, before Martin Luther King, we owned 65 to 75% of the businesses in our own neighborhood. Now we own less than 3%. Our own neighborhoods. You got something, sir?
Con, the biggest thing, for brothers who are spiritual, you know what I mean? And this is why we do these classes, because we're really trying to teach our people, to understand the Most High better and to give them the tools to operate this life better. And, you can say we're in prisons because, we disobey laws. You can say we're in prison because of slavery. You can say we're in prison because the father's out the house. There's so many things that contribute, like the war on drugs, or what was it? The war on crime by Lyndon B. Johnson, or whatever that name was. Like there's so many things that contribute to us being in prison, but one of the main things that we need to really understand as a people is that we are the children of God. We're the children of God, and there's a role that we're meant to play on this earth. Like it says in Genesis, that the elder shall serve the younger. Like the children of Israel, we're meant to be ruling this earth. We're not meant to be servants. And right now, like you see us filling up these prison houses, man, the incarceration rate, the amount of people that are in American prisons alone compared to the rest of the earth it's insanity. And that's all of us that fill these prison systems. Like we are not meant to be servants, and it's a very sad thing to see us in the bottom of society, in all parts of our walk of life. What we really need to do as a people is come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, build up our kingdom for Christ to rule, and truly appreciate Christ ruling. You know what I mean? Like we have to really desire Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ, to be our king, to rule over us. You know what I mean? Because we keep looking to Donald Trump or the next black president or the next black female president, whatever, whatever foolish thing is in our minds, you give your heart to this kingdom. Well, the Lord's going to say, okay, you make your bed lying. That's the saying we always have. You know what I mean? You guys want the next Barack Obama to rule over you. Okay, I'll give him to you. You're not ready for Christ to rule over you. And so that's what we really need to get as a people. We really got to be sick of this place. You know what I mean? We really got to hate the environment. We got to really hate our condition.
You have to.
The Lord said He would put a yoke of iron on our neck until, we be destroyed. You know what I mean? And right now, mentally, we're destroyed. We're okay. We're okay being known as Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous. We're okay not having an identity. We're okay, speaking English. We're okay going to the white man's schools. We're okay, looking to make money and be the next big rapper, or athlete inside this kingdom. We're really okay with these things. And we turn a blind eye to all the hell that our people are in. You know what I mean? We look forward to getting inside that white neighborhood and marrying that white snow bunny and getting out the hood and having a beautiful life in this kingdom.
Speaking of that,
God,
but the mother of devils.
Damn right, man. That's
nobody is the mother of devils.
Mother of devils. Good night.
If I may, sir, can you see the comments?
I'm on my phone. I can't access anything, but just put the video.
I'll do is if you handle it, I'll go to the computer, read off the comments, give the type of shout outs. I see a few comments in and see people watching. I just want to acknowledge them. I think Shayala, there's a couple other folks out there. Shabana, Officer 5000. I can't see from here. I got to go to the computer.
Yeah, no slippers. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, we really gotta desire Yahweh Shah to rule over us. You know what I mean? And truly turn back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And fall in love with these laws, statutes, and commandments. Fall in love with a different way of life.
Test. Can you hear me, sir?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, cool. This is we got Nashar Gabar out of Saginaw. We got, your homie and mine, Shayala. Sister Nawah. I think you might know her a little bit. Yep. Shayala says, so the KKK started in 1865, right? In Pulaski, Tennessee, on their pagan Christmas Eve. Ooh wee. We got Ottawa Madabar. Shalom Christ. We got Nada Beezy, she checking in. And Asha, she's checking in, sir. So, we got a few people paying attention to the things that we may say. It might not be too important, but it's important to us.
Right.
Yeah, so
Shabrak thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, all the thought about Shimei Shah to the sisters.
Yes, sir. So understand this is that I'll talk to brothers who have been arrested for some falsified things or something that's not true or some crooked ass police officer, and they've been arrested for it. And these brothers, think about this, and these brothers have an option to take a plea deal or fight the case. Now, if they fight the case, and they get a innocent, they're not convicted of the crime. What you have to understand is these brothers walk through free and clear. But to fight that case, it takes money that our people usually don't have. It takes time that our usually people really don't have. The rich get time and money. So with them having time and money, the poor, we sell our time for money. That's why we get up and go to a job 8, 12, 16 hours out the day. You're selling your time. It's not that people say, oh yeah, I'm going to work. No, you're going to sell your time. Keep on selling. Time is a currency here in the United States. So these people are selling their time. But to get back to it is that these brothers that are innocent of these crimes are taking plea deals, right? Taking plea deals, and this plea deal will still put this felony on their record, but yet and still they don't have to do jail time. They got to do probation.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to do probation, right? So an innocent brother is still having a blemish on his record because of some crooked ass police officer, because he doesn't want, this brother doesn't want to do jail time. I don't blame him. He don't want to be in that jail 1 minute. You know, I talked to brothers, and you know, I was talking to a young brother the other day, and he's supposed to be released tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, yeah. So he's going to be released out of Florida tomorrow, and then our family got together and got him a plane ticket, and it's going to fly him back to Detroit. Now he did what they said he did, but the thing about it is now he has to do parole and probation here in the city of Detroit. But the thing about it, if you look at it, what drove him to doing what he did? It wasn't because black people are just natural born, what they call it, natural born killers or natural born criminals, right? It's because of the and you know, understand is this, that when I bring up this, the book of the Art of War, the Bible is where this book drew its information from, right? So a lot of people go out and read this book called The Art of War when you could just read the Bible, right? In the Bible, when it was a bigger nation, think about it. What did they do? The children of Israel surrounded that nation, didn't allow goods to go in and out, or they surrounded the children of Israel and didn't allow goods to go in and out. And then whatever nation that's surrounded ends up feeding on each other, right? Look at what's going on in the inner city now, right? That is just another excerpt from the world to call it the Art of War. We know that this is the Bible. This is the Bible, how you win in warfare, right? So look what's going on. The city, our people are feeding off each other. We're robbing and stealing and unaliving one another. You got a sister who just got unalived at the hospital. She was at work. And her husband had some type of issue. The husband showed up to her job, unalive her, and it's said that he got into a car, one of his homeboys in the car, and helped him get away. So now they charging the homeboy with accessory after the fact. Right? And this is just the other day. Right? So our people are suffering from, and why are our people going through this? Right? And if you go back to it, it's because of slavery, black codes, Jim Crow, racial profiling. Who does all that? We don't do it to ourselves. So why can't I blame the oppressor for my sister being unalived at that hospital the other day?
If I could,
please.
I can't remember the scripture. I think it's in either Isaiah or Lamentations. It could be Proverbs 83, but it speaks on, the people that hate us lay traps for us.
You talking about Lamentations 4:17 through like 19?
That might be. I think the Lamentation speaks about they hunt our steps. I didn't want to mix up the two scriptures, but it speaks on them laying traps for us.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that might be Lamentations 4, but it's like, and this brings it back to one of the things I was saying is, we really got to understand that, like, we were sold to our enemies. We were sold to a people that hate us. You know what I mean? So it talks about in Ezekiel where all the beasts of the field devour us up. Psalms 83 speaks on the nations conspiring together with one consent to be.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? Like the Bible truly is like the art of war. It will teach you to go to war. It will teach you on how to evade these traps that they lay for us. Like, you out here thinking that this European man, Bobby or Timmy at work, you know, is a good and gentle character, he's a good guy, and he's never done you wrong, that man hates you. You know what I mean? That man hates you deep down inside, and he would love to see your destruction. You know what I mean? You're only gonna understand that when you understand this Bible. Like when he told us that he sends us as sheep amongst wolves. Like there's people literally, you know, looking to devour you. They're doing it every day to us. That's why you feel these prison systems. They're gonna find a way, you know, to get you incarcerated and start working for that prison. You go back historically, you went inside this prison. They had companies who worked in the mines who would loan you out of the prisons, put you to work in that mine to make you money as free labor. You know what I mean? So there's so many traps out there that they set for us. It's like if you're not paying attention, you know, you're not aware of the people that are around you and truly how evil of a wicked bastard and an evil beast that these people really are. You're going to fall into these traps. You know what I mean?
Hey, sir. Real quick, you know, I was thinking our people don't understand what hate is. They hate. I hate this person. I hate that person, right? But if you look at the definition of hate, this is the Oxford Language Dictionary, and it says feel intense or passionate dislike for someone, right? So an intense or passionate dislike, someone, something, right? We don't understand that just because a brother stepped on your shoe, that's not a passionate dislike, right? That's not a intense dislike because you didn't have a problem with him 35 seconds ago.
Right.
Right. These our oppressor. Like what our people don't understand is that our oppressor has been bred to dislike us, right? To hate us. For the scriptures say, for your hatred against your brother Jacob, paraphrasing, right? Esau has had hatred towards his brother Jacob, and that was in the womb. The scripture says there are two nations in thy womb, right? Two different manner of people, right? So we don't understand. Not only does this person hate us, this individual was blessed with the sword.
Right.
So if blessed with the sword, like for those who don't understand, you got to know that being blessed with the sword, it means Esau he can weaponize anything. He can weaponize anything, right? Name something, and y'all show you. Look, you know what I love? Y'all see, I'm a big fella. I love a baked potato and a steak, right? Some garlic butter, some salt, some pepper on that baked potato, and that potato is awesome. Esau created a potato gun.
Right.
Right. This thing launches a potato at like 100 meters per second. So he's made a potato deadly. Right. Name something that you like, and I can show you how Esau has figured out how to weaponize it. Right. And I know I had an individual tell me, like, man, I love women. I love that black woman. I know you love that black woman. Let me tell you how Esau has weaponized her. Our people,
that's heavy.
The most deadliest place for a black man is in the womb of a black mother.
Imagine that.
Our people lead this nation in abortions. Right? You know why? Because Esau has weaponized the black woman. Man, this talking about sleeping with the enemy. That's another movie quote, sir. I thought you might see that. You ain't seen that one either, huh? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
That's such a heavy point, Abawan, you know. And when you look back on, I think it's around Leviticus, it speaks on, you know, or even going back to Exodus, you know what, and in understanding war and how you go to war against the males, you know what I mean, like cutting off the male's lineage, and you know what I mean, or slaughtering all the males. It's like it's a way to keep that nation down because everybody understands the women and children are not a threat. You know what I mean? Or those women, those girls, they're not the threat. It's the men. The men are the ones who go to war, and so understand that when things like buck breaking, where Esau is taking a man and emasculating him in front of you. You see what they're doing to our black men today? They got us walking around in mini skirts and putting us in the media like this is who we are.
Did you see that picture I sent you with the little?
Yeah, man. Good night.
That was a Photoshop. That was a picture that was an individual walking. Look, how can I explain this, Israel? This was a brother that was emasculated, right? And what he's doing is he's taking the culture of the of these Israelite associations. I don't even want to call them Israelite groups. I call them Israelite associations, right? They want to be, Israelite-ish. Right? They want to be UPK, but at the same time, they don't want to follow. The one is that they don't want to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments correctly. They want to pick and choose which ones they can and cannot follow. Right? I just heard Captain Tazariak breaking it down to a brother talking about it's 600 and such amount of laws, right? And I don't know how many laws it is. I know the ones that are affiliated and associated with the things that I do in my everyday life, I must follow.
Right.
Right. So I don't have to follow the laws of what a woman had to follow after she have a boy, and after she have a girl. Remember, those laws are different. She's unclean for 80 plus days, I believe, after she have a girl, and 40 plus days after she have a boy. Guess what? As a man, I don't have to follow that law. You know what law I got to follow? I'm unclean the evening when I pull out. That's the law I got to follow.
Yeah.
I got to wash, and I'm unclean for a certain amount of time, and that's the law I got to follow. If I touch a dead carcass, I got to wash, and I'm unclean for a certain time. Those are the laws I got to follow. I don't have to follow the law of menstrual. A man don't have a menstrual. You see, but that goes back to that lack of knowledge scripture again, sir, is that we allow everything to get in our way and to say, this is why I'm not, in the truth. This is why I'm not in the truth. This is why I'm not in the truth. But then we could just say, you know what? Let me see what law is so grievous, because the Bible said the laws are not grievous. I think I got that scripture you was looking for. Right?
Go ahead.
This is Lamentations 4:19. It says, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. They pursue us upon the mountains. They lay wait for us in the wilderness. Right? So understand, when you pursue, if you a hunter or a trapper, you pursuing and laying wait for your prey, for that deer, that what they call it, that 10-star or 10-point buck.
Okay.
You got something, sir?
No, keep going.
Yeah, sir. So you laying a wait for this 10-point buck, 8-point buck. And what you do is you sit into your into what they call those hideaways off in the trees when the hunter go out and whatever this tent, because usually he's tucked off in some type of covering so that the deer can't smell him.
Right.
The deer can't see him. The deer doesn't even acknowledge that he's there. Right. The deer doesn't even know that he's there until what? Bang.
Yep.
Right. And these hunters, they go out and train to hit that target, which is that deer, the whole year until it's deer season. Right. What you got to understand is that here in America, it's always nigger season. It's always nigger season. So if they not training, they aiming.
Yep.
If they ain't training, they aiming. And we're aiming. What are they aiming for? You are the prey. You are the prey, right? You are the, what do they call it? The venison, because that's what they call deer, venison, right? You are what they want to take in and eat. So what they do is they lay wait.
Yeah.
They wait what? Speed traps. You got a speed trap in the hood. You pulling people. The speed limit 45 miles an hour. You pull a nigga over for going 46. And then if you going 44, think about this. If you're going too fast down the street, I pull you over for speeding. The oppressor will pull you over for speeding. If you're going too slow, he pull you over for impeding traffic. Right? So that means you have to do it.
How about this one? Yeah, how about this one? They make you, they tell you that slavery is over. They tell you that you're an American citizen. So when that police officer pulls you over and starts treating you like a slave, you're like, what's going on, officer? You can't talk to me like this. Why are you treating me different from the next man? I'm doing what every other citizen does. I'm just wearing a hood. You guys sell this in the Gap. You sell this in every clothing store. I got my hands in my pockets. What's the big deal? You guys made jeans with pockets. Every white man that walks down the street has his hands in his pockets. What's the problem, officer?
I got one question. Have you ever seen a white man with some jeans on that didn't have pockets?
Good night. They make you believe you're a citizen here, and now all of a sudden you're surprised when they're treating you like a slave. Now all of a sudden he has a reason to escalate the situation rather than de-escalate like he's supposed to, because you're not following orders.
Isn't there training supposed to be in de-escalation?
God. Yeah, the traps they have out here are insane.
So, our people have to understand that there are different type of traps. You have humane traps. And humane traps are those traps that trap an individual or whatever the prey is. It traps the prey, but it keeps them alive. Right? You have you ever see those movies where a person will be walking through the jungle or something like that, and he'll step on something and they grab him by the leg and string him up upside down. Now he's dangling upside down. That's a humane trap. That's humane trap. Now you got other traps where you see that a person will be walking through the forest or the woods, they'll step on something, and two big logs will come down together and crush them in between it. Right? That's an inhumane trap. Now out here on these streets, you have humane traps and you have inhumane traps, right? When you're trapped humanely, they handcuff you, put you in the back of a police car. Over here in the city of Detroit, they take you over there on mile. They take you over there on mile, they fingerprint you, everything, right? Go, make sure everything was going on with you. Humane trap. Inhumane traps. I'll tell you individuals who have suffered from inhumane traps. George Floyd, inhumane trap. Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice. Let's see, Castro Fidel. Right? Inhumane traps. These were inhumane traps. Because the same thing happened to them that happened to others. It's just the difference is, was the predator, right, which is our oppressor, were they on the humane? Were they trapping humanely or inhumanely? All right.
Yep.
You sent me a couple articles, sir. You want me to get into one of those?
Con, you pull up that last one that I sent you. That's a pretty good one, because there's some statistics in there. Speaking on one of the first, what do they call it? Oh man, the name's on the tip of my tongue. But basically, where they started these these jail cells where they had the belief that you could rehabilitate. Rehabilitation was better than things like capital punishment.
Before we get into this, sir, can I bring something up?
Go ahead.
You spoke on buck breaking by the oppressor.
Right.
You know, and buck breaking was designed to what is emasculize, emasculize the man, right?
If I could go deeper.
Say again.
If I could go deeper.
Yeah, please.
To show our nation that they had no fighting chance.
I
mean, because you break that man, who is there to fight for you? Who is there to protect you?
But understand this, sir. Think about what's going on in America. America is emasculating the black man.
Absolutely.
Right? So now is instead of a physical buck breaking, it's a psychological buck breaking. Right. So now they're what it is that either the oppressor is coming out to emasculate you, or then again, he's trained the black woman to she has to be the leader of the household, and that emasculates young black men. So you grow up, right? And what's so heavy about it is that I hear women, and not just in my family that's not in the truth, but out in these streets is not in the truth. And what they'll say is, there ain't no real men out here. Ain't no real men. And the issue is, every single one of these women that say that has sons, right? So if there's no real men out here, why you haven't raised your son to be the man that you desire? Because one is that you can't. One is that you can't. But she doesn't realize it, that she can't raise her son to be the man that, the beast. What I mean is be the man, have the characteristics of the man that she desires, right? You want a strong black man as a leader? Come to the ISUPK. There's a bunch of brothers in here that will take on a righteous woman. But you got to come down here. First, you got to get the 90 days. You got to get that world off of you, right? And you got to get in here and you got to stay in here. We've seen people come in and leave, right? Because what? The oppressor has bedazzled them and attracted them to leave the UPK. And thus, like we started the class off, that's how we got these Israelite associated groups. So I got the article. It says inventing solitary. Is that the one?
Solitary.
Yeah. Yep. So in 1719, Philadelphia opened a first American penitentiary with the nation's first solitary cells. Black people were disproportionately punished from the start. The IMU is Pennsylvania's latest venture into long-term solitary confinement, what Pelser calls the hole within the hole. It is torture of the mind. Pelser says, torture of the mind.
Torture of the mind. That's what, when they invented these cells, with what they would call, what they call it today, like new age thinking. You know what I mean?
New age thinking, God.
It's like they come up with these new ideas, you know what I mean, on how to oppress you. You know what I mean? We've been slaves in America for so long. You know what I mean? And the idea that slavery is over is total nonsense. Like you really asleep if you think that you're free here inside of America as a Black, Hispanic, or Indigenous man. You don't know history. You don't know what's going on with your people. You don't know the statistics of incarceration rates. You don't know the statistics of the families being destroyed. You don't know statistics of, being murdered inside of that Black woman's womb. Like the attack on our people is absolutely enormous. You know what I mean? And this right here is just one of those things. You know what I mean? These prison systems that are here today was built off of these concepts that we're reading right now. Right? Keep going.
Said it's a zoo of humans. Even animals could see where the sun or moon is at. Our windows are covered. That's heavy. Even, and if I may, sir,
yeah,
like even when animals are caged, right? If you go to a zoo where the animals are caged, the animals can see the sun and moon, right? Majority of, right? A lot of the cages, you know, they have the tops, and you know the enclosures are outside, and there are huge outside enclosures where they can see the sun and moon. They can feel the wind, right? They got covering when the rain comes. They just go into their covering,
right?
Right. I'm trying to hold on. I got an oppressor on the outside taking pictures outside. Let him do what he do. So you know, so that's right there. It's like, so it has to be worse than the zoo, because with being worse than a zoo, you don't get to see the sun, the moon, feel the wind, or the rain.
Right.
It says, stand back far enough to take in the sweep of history, though, and the IMU can be viewed as just one more alliteration of century-old traditions. It's traced its lineage back 232 years and 35 miles to Pennsylvania, a city that's touted as the cradle of liberty. The origin story starts at the Walnut Street prison and often overlooks Philadelphia first. Situated just a block south of Independence Hall. It's because the first state penitentiary in 1790, Slovakia, say it became the first state penitentiary in 1790 with the first dedicated solitary cells, and it became a prototype for the nation, an incubator of American innovation in solitary confinement, incarceration as punishment, and even early attempts at criminal justice reform. Right? The story that began in the prison at Slovakia, the story that begins in the prison at South and 6 and Walnut is a history of social control in America, one contaminated by racism at the outset. It was pitched as a humane Quaker alternative to public humiliation and corporal punishment. That's it.
So they're looking at it like, you know what? We don't look so humane when we're lynching niggers. We don't look so humane when we're setting Negroes on fire and feeding them to pigs. Let's try to, you know, create a better image for, you know, us Europeans.
All right. We're not gonna set on fire. Unalive them and feed them the pigs, right? You remember the Strange Fruit and the Familiar Tree song by Billie Holiday.
That's right. Yep.
So we're not going to put them on the trees and the stop signs and hang them from what was that? The stop lights. You see the brothers and set them on fire.
That's right.
We're not going to do that anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to convict them of a crime and lock them up for life. Matter of fact, jaywalking is a crime. You can't jaywalk. I've never really understood what jaywalking was. Because if the city is so much construction, sometimes you can't even cross at the corner. right? It's so much. If you go around, I don't know if you in Detroit, we have construction. We have 5 seasons: winter, fall, spring, summer, and construction.
Mm-hmm.
So construction season usually runs from probably the frost break, maybe I say April, right? At least from May until October, November.
Mm-hmm.
It's forever. If you anybody that's been traveling over the highways in Michigan now, you understand every interstate, every highway, freeway that you got going on that you have here has construction for miles in 1, 2, 3 areas. I went. LeBron and I was fishing yesterday, right? We drove out early to Trenton to get bait. Now Trenton's about 40 minutes from the city, right? So GPSing it out there is 40 minutes to go out there. Then to come back, I-75 was closed at the bridge over there by the gas stations. That's where they do all the oil refinery at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was closed there. So we couldn't get you couldn't get over the bridge, you had to take the street. So it was an hour and I want to say hour 15 minutes, something like that, to get back to the city. That's just to get back to the city. And then we had to travel probably another 20 minutes to get to one of our fishing locations. Right? So that was yesterday when we got to our fishing location and went fishing. So understand is that construction is everywhere.
Right,
now,
right.
To say that is we had to, the Lord was with us because we had to drive through some neighborhoods that are not, too kindly to the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to drive, LeBron got that big ass black truck. They looking for him like what's that nigga doing on that nag? Right? Yeah. they looking for him, right? So I had one of the Ribs cars, and she got that little white car. They see, oh, this little nigga on this little pony ain't nothing. We want the big nigga. Yeah, but think about this, sir, is that those are those humane traps that are out there. The Lord, took care of us. We got back here to the city safely. But who's to say that even though we got back to the city safely, that we were safe in the city? Because if you go to Lamentations 4:17 through 19, they hunt us in our streets. It don't say they hunt us in their streets. It says they hunt us in our streets.
Like what we gotta understand, and what you just read, and some of the examples you just brought up is so heavy and important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous to understand. You jaywalking versus a white person jaywalking are 2 different things.
Damn right.
If a black man jaywalks, you're a criminal. If a white person jaywalks, he's mentally disturbed. You know what I mean? Or he's just trying to get to work, or he's trying to save his baby. That's their mind. He's not a criminal. This penitentiary system was created for us. It was created for criminals. It was created for gangbangers. It was created for gangsters and thugs. That's what you are, black man. You're the thug. A white man with 100 pills of ecstasy, he is not a thug. It's 2 different things. This penitentiary is built for you. That's part of the traps that we got to understand.
So, I forget who I was talking to the other day, and I think it might have been Cap, and we were saying that I think it was one of your sons too that was in there. This might have been a couple Saturdays ago, and we were talking about how many felonies. We was talking about the expungement program, and I think he asked one of your sons, he got any felonies? Or they asked him, do he got any felonies?
Yeah.
And Cap was like, he got at least one. Right? He said he got at least one. And I'm like, what's that one, Cap? He's like, look at him. He born black.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Black. He got at least one felony. And that was so profound when he said that. I was like, you're right. Because immediately being black in this America, you are treated as a criminal. We've seen videos. Well, you know, Israel, you've seen videos where black law enforcement officers were unalived by other law enforcement officers, right? Get pulled over. What was that one officer? They put 100 and something rounds in his vehicle, right? And he's a law enforcement officer. I'm about to show you my badge, right? And what's so heavy about that is that you could pull over the oppressor, get pulled over. The devil will pull over a devil, and that devil will get out the car. You ain't this, that, and other thing, ready to, you know, fight. I'm trying to keep it politically correct. Right? I seen a video where an oppressor jumps out the car, big muscular oppressor, and he's going off on the officer, and then he gets to wrestling and fighting with the officer. A civilian comes over and helps the officer subdue and restrain him.
Damn.
Right? No shots were fired. A taser was not deployed. A baton did not crack a head. You understand? A baton did not crack a head.
God.
But if these officers, you know, are unloading on other officers because they don't have the same ethnicity. Because you're not a police officer, you're a nigga. Regardless of, you know, your education level, regardless of your political level, you know, your what is it? I seen lawyers get pulled over, have to deal with police officers, right? And look how many lawsuits are up against certain municipalities, right? And these lawsuits are, you know, usually racial discrimination. You get we've had people where they were at their houses or in their homes or on their property, and the police snatched them off their property and took them in. I just watched a video where a brother had bought some land in one of the southern states. Bought some land, and him and his wife sitting on their land, you know, just looking and observing, you know, sitting in the car, looking at their land. It's a fenced area, so they're just on the outside of their fence, but they're still on their land. And the police show up, snatch them off the car, slam them up against the car. Give me your ID.
Yeah.
Do you need my ID so I can sit on my porch? That's slave code.
Yeah.
That's the slave code. Because really, if you look at the Constitution, we've never been more than 3/5 of a person.
Mm-hmm.
When has that law, you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, when has that law been what's it called when you correct an amendment? When has it been amended? It's never been amended. So you still 3/5 a nigga. I got some more of this article, sir, if you want me to read it.
Yeah, keep going.
It says, from the start, the prison population was disappropriately black. It set the tone of 2 centuries of American carceral expansion that evolved explicitly and implicated to contain advances in black freedom.
Let me ask you a question, Ahaba.
Yes, sir.
From the start, it was predominantly black inside the prison system.
From the start, yes.
Has it changed?
No.
This is over 200 years later.
This American policies. That's what the class say.
Not only has it not changed, it's gotten worse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. And it's what's heavy about that, sir, You said not only has it changed, it's gotten worse. But now it's at the point where now I'm gonna say this, and this is not the view of the ISUBK. This is young dumb officer Abawan views. It's some niggas in jail. It's some niggas in jail I think might need to stay there. No, we was talking to a brother. He said that he knew a guy. Matter of fact, I was with LeBron, and one of the brothers that we fished with, right? We just call him Mississippi. One of the brothers we fish with, we call him Mississippi. And Mississippi said he had a brother that he know of that's, the police convicted him. He was convicted of serial sexual assault and serial murder. He sexually assaulted multiple individuals, and he's unalived multiple individuals, right? So LeBron and I look at each other like, no, that nigga might need to stay in jail.
Right.
Keep him there. He might have some psychological and some mental breakups that he may not be able to be able to function in the everyday society. So he need to be in a facility that can treat that, and or kept away from other people. At least at the minimum, kept away from other people, right? And I was like, yeah, that nigga need to be kept away from other people. Keep them there. What that's saying is that we have some individuals that got some breakdowns where they need to be kept away from other individuals, other people. Absolutely. But most of I'm gonna say it's a percentage of brothers that are in jail and sisters that are in jail, in prison for a lie that the officer told, because the judge didn't like the way they looked when they showed up to court. Tell you a story. I was going to court when I had got custody of my kids. I was 20 and some change, 22. Kids was 22 weeks old and 2 years old. Yep. So that's when I got custody of the baby girls. And the baby girls, we go to court. I come in. I got on the polo and some slacks. I'm going to court. So I'm dressing like the oppressor want us to dress. My kid's mother, she comes to court, and she has on a white tank top and some shorts. Right now, it's two other women in court with similar outfits on, maybe different color. The judge spoke to those women, and cool, this, that, and other thing, blah blah blah. My kid's mother get up there, and the other two women, one was an oppressor, and I think the other one was Moab or somebody, right? Dressed alike. But my kid's mother get up there, and she's shaped like a black woman. Think about it. You got a black woman compared to Moab and Esau. Ooh wee, and you would stop looking at the Moabite. You see that black woman step up there. Now, the first thing the judge said is, "Why are you dressed like that in my court?" Damn. Why are you dressed like that in my court? Right. And I'm sitting on the other side, I'm like, I'm surprised, like, damn, she didn't say shit to the other chicks. Right. I thought it, but I never said it. My kid's mother, being the individual she was, she's like, you didn't say shit to them hoes. And the first thing is, you can't talk like that in my court. But can you see how the attack started? Immediately, we can't even dress like other people, right? The reason,
if I may,
2 more seconds, please.
Okay.
The reason why we in this hell that we are in now, because when the Lord came to talk to Adam, we was dressed like other people.
Right.
That's it, sir.
Yeah, that's so heavy, and that's why one of the things I was saying at the beginning is we got to understand that this is a spiritual thing going on. Like you can't be a drug dealer or a drug addict and be a child of God. Like you can't be black, Hispanic, or indigenous and disobey the laws of God. There's a punishment for that. You know what I mean? And these traps that are out here, you know what I mean? We would avoid these traps if we would obey God.
Damn right.
In our minds, we think that, well, I can smoke weed because everybody else smokes weed. You know what I mean? The East Indians are over here worshiping Shiva, smoking weed every day, getting high every day. They can do it, I can do it. You go smoke weed, your black ass is gonna sit in a jail cell for the next 10 years.
For one cigar.
and that's the thing that we got to really come out of as a people is, you know, there's a standard that the Most High has for us to live by, and it's not the American standard. You know what I mean? It's not the standard of the world. Christ said, if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. Like you can't love the things that are here. You can't be in love with that wedding ring and that marriage certificate and his weed and his cigars and his vaping pens and his strip clubs and whatever way of life that they have.
That birthday candle.
Man, we got to throw all that shit away because that is not for us. That's why we're so destroyed. Salaki.
Damn right. You know, and what's so heavy about that, sir, is that the laws, according to the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? You can't eat certain things. Let the oppressor eat that shit.
Right.
Right? Let them eat that. We can't think about it. We can't eat certain things. This is how the Lord want us to, the Most High want us to carry ourselves, right? My children, think about this, how special he think you are. My people, my children can't eat certain things. Just from you can't carry yourself a certain way. You can't do this. You put rules to the rules are placed upon us to govern us, to separate us from what? Animals. These laws, statutes, and commandments are placed on us to separate us from animals. Right? Think about it. The lion don't give a, he can go eat a hyena. He can eat another lion. He can go eat another lion. He is not at fault or in sin for eating a zebra ass or a alligator. I've seen a lion snatch alligators out the water, you know, only on video and the nature shows that I'm not brave enough to go down to the safaris of Africa and watch a lion eat a goddamn alligator. No. You know why? I don't think that's my place. Think about it. The Lord blessed us with land. He ain't blessed me, you know, to be down there. That alligator and that lion. No, those are apex predators. Do you understand what apex predators are? They eat everything they can catch. Right? Think about this. The human being is an apex predator. We can catch, trap everything. But to separate you from being a human being to a child of the Most High God is these laws, statutes, and commandments. And it was only given to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Sure.
So the Lord is trying to separate us from being fucking animals. Mm-hmm. Just being animals, right? Think about it. Separate us from being criminalistic. We can't hustle or con our people. We can't even I can't loan you money. I can't loan you $20 and charge you $25 to get it back.
Sure.
No, we don't even usury. We don't even show interest. I mean, put interest on the money that we loan individuals to our people. Because if one of the impressors like loan me $20, nigga, I'm gonna need 50 back. Partner, associate, I'm gonna need 50 back. 150%. I'm gonna charge their ass like you got bad credit in this. You're trying to get a new car.
You paying $30,000 for a $5,000 car.
Pounded daily. But you, sir, oh no, just give me the money back when you got it. You see how we do? That's how we supposed to do each other, right? The Lord has shown us favoritism, right? Favoritism is white privilege for black people. right? Did you say, sir?
Nah, keep going.
Yeah. So let me get back to the article. I don't want to stray too far from it, sir, if I may. In subsequent decades, as the black population in Philadelphia and other northern cities grew rapidly, many of those cities adopted the penitentiary model alongside the creation of professional police force designed to quell rampant urban crime and disorder. Right, you see what it says? It says that, look at this. It says that the professional police force was designed to quell rapid urban crime and disorder. So it's designed to, if not minimize it, completely obliterate it, to wipe it out, right? To stop. So it's designed to stop. Think about this: rampant urban crime and disorder, right? You know what the rampant the rampant urban crime is now? Block parties. A block party is, they're shutting down. Look, now, yes, there have been some issues at block parties inside the city of Detroit. But now, anytime you have a block party, police are shutting it down. They're shutting down the block parties, right? They're shutting down the block parties. And they're shutting down the block parties because of what? Because they're saying that there is a chance that you guys are going to unalive each other. And they're supposed to care so much about you that they don't want you. You see what I'm saying? They're supposed to care so much about you that they don't want you to unalive one another. So they have to shut down your block party. In 1865, on the heels of the Emancipation came the 13th Amendment, eliminating slavery except as a punishment for crime. That's heavy. We already knew that, right? By then, state penitentiaries had conscripted more than 19,000 people into prison labors, a majority of them in the North. The South states developed convict leasing arrangements to mines, mills, firms, and brickyards. They wrote black codes that criminalized vagrancy and other behaviors by black people. Do you understand what vagrancy is, sir?
A lot.
So understand this is if usually vagrants are homeless people.
Okay, come.
As you for being broke, not having a home, not having a place to stay.
Right.
So they came up with vagrancy laws. One of the vagrancy laws used to be if a person had less than $20, they could be considered a vagrant.
Come.
I ain't got $20 right now.
Come.
I ain't got $20 right now. Man, I'm a vagrant. So now, according to this police code, right, the police can arrest you and put you in jail. But if you arrest me and put me in jail, you hold me until I get $20?
Well, they're gonna put you to work in there.
They can put you to work in there now. That goes back to the movie that you haven't watched, Django.
Man, I'm at 60% of the movie.
You gotta watch the end of it, because understand at the end of the movie they was taking them to one of these. They was taking them to one of these mills where they bust up rocks.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll leave it there. I ain't gonna ruin it for you. I understand. You got a lot of things to do. Right. It says they wrote black codes and criminalized vagrancies and other behaviors by black people, effectively replacing slavery with a new form of racial oppression.
Effectively, read that part again.
Okay, Con. They wrote black codes that criminalized vagrancy and other behavior by black people, effectively replacing slavery with a new form of racial oppression.
So it was they created these penitentiaries and they effectively solved the problem of you being out in that field and them not knowing where to put you. They effectively transported your black ass from slavery into prison. They found a way to do it. It was effective. It worked.
Now, the 13th Amendment says that you are no longer a slave, black man, unless you do what? Commit a crime.
Unless you're a criminal.
Right. So American policy is to put a felony on you so that you can be a slave again. Right. But listening to Cap the other day, you're already born with one felony, being black. Right. So American policy is to put you back into servitude where they can benefit off the blood, sweat, and tears of you working in the sunlight. You can't do it because they can't work in the sun. You ever see those construction men on the freeway? Majority of them are oppressors.
Right.
They know how to get the job and get their brothers and sisters and cousins the job. Right. You see a few of us speckled in there, but majority of them on that working at construction, you know, on the highways and byways in the streets of your neighborhood are oppressors. Right? You see how big they fucking hats be, Pat be this goddamn big. This damn big, right? They got on suntan lotion, they got on, you know, layers so that they're out there sweating and shit like that because they covered up. Because if that sun hits them, they're going to do the same thing a vampire does when the sun hits it and turn into ash, right? Skin cancer is going to develop. What they call those lymphomas and lesions and whatever it is. I'm not the medical term guru. I used to play Scrabble with a sister. She was a nurse. She used to kick my ass in Scrabble. She was a medical term. I was like, you know what? When I go back and get my doctoral degree in medicine, I'm gonna come back and play Scrabble again. Right? It's a century later.
And Salakia, you know, and if I could too, you know, I never want, you know, my brothers to think that you're not included in this. Like you're Hispanic inside of America, and you're an illegal immigrant. You're a criminal. You know what I mean? Like you see what's going on with our Hispanic brothers right now. You know, don't think you're not filling up those prison systems too. Salakia.
Bro, just checking this real quick. You know, see if we had any new messages.
Go ahead.
We got Sister Tawanda out of Columbus. You know, that's one of my other ribs. She love me. She finally checking back in the class. She gonna figure out a way to be mad tomorrow. That's cool. Check in the class. Make sure you check in the class. Make sure you. Hey, look, y'all. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 to 9. Captain Dariala is going to be doing scripture breakdown class. Make sure you tune into it, right? Make sure you tune into that scripture breakdown class. Make sure you ask your questions. Now, you can ask questions here. We would love to answer any of your questions, right? And if you have a question that we cannot answer, right? We're not going to tell you like the Christian church, oh, pray on it. You got to pray on it. Oh, you put your hand. No, right? Understand this word is this truth is something that has to be taught to you. Everybody that is a scholar in a particular field has been taught that field, right? So that, you know, lawyers, doctors, engineers, these people that are these lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects, even general contractors, you know, mechanics have been taught how to do what they do, right? You cannot get out here on these streets and teach this Bible if you're not taught correctly. And the only place you can be taught correctly, It's right here in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. You can't be taught correctly how to teach this Bible nowhere esse. Because if you go somewhere else, you're gonna have fringes on the bottom of your t-shirt. You're gonna have a peg master leading you, or you're gonna have some guy that says that he can sexually assault underage girls and they become their wives, right? You don't learn that here. You don't learn that mess here in the ISUPK. You learn the truth, right? And I'm gonna tell you, you know, those other groups, you sexually assault my daughter and think she's gonna become your wife, you know, I'm gonna ask you to send me some Pepsis because I'm beheading you. And that's just me. I wouldn't allow you to behead nobody, sir. I would do it for you. But no, understand.
The first thing we fight about.
That'd be the first thing we fight about. Hey, you know what's gonna happen? We ain't gonna fight. You're gonna take me to council.
Right.
Imagine us being in council with the general. Like, what happened? Well, we did some foul stuff to an individual, you know, in his family, and I beheaded the guy, sir. So why we in council? Because I wanted to behead him. I find both of y'all in contempt because y'all should.
Right. Oh man.
Oh man. We just joking, Israel. Come on, these jokes. You know, every now and then we do smile and we do laugh. Right. It says a century later, as the civil rights movement swept through American cities, President Lyndon B. Johnson launched a counter-insurgent. God damn, that's a long word. Counter-insurgency plan. Counter-insurgency plan. That's a new word. So I remember we was looking at new words. This is counter-insurgency plan. If I may, sir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up. God damn. I understand what counter means. Counter means the opposite to react.
Right.
And insurgency, like, you know, you got surgeons, these are insurgents. But in order for me to understand what that word is, because this is warfare they're talking about. It says Lyndon B. Johnson, the president, right, launched a counter-insurgency plan, the war on crime, that unprecedented investments in the policing of black communities helped launch a mass incarceration era that would sweep black people into prisons at 5 times the rate of whites. The effect was profound in Philadelphia. Historian Elizabeth Hinton found where the jails went from 50% black to 95% black between 1970 and 1974, coinciding with Police Commissioner Frank Rizzo's rise to mayor.
And somebody try and tell me that other 5% weren't Hispanic and indigenous.
Hey, sir, I wouldn't be surprised if they was just that. I wouldn't be surprised if America grouped black, native, and Hispanics as blacks. Right? Understand is that, think about this. They're coming. Look what's going on. ICE is coming to your house or to your kid's school. School is about to start back up. Right before school ended, ICE was going to the schools, taking the kids of these so-called illegal immigrants, right, so that they would have to come pick them up and then arrest those illegal immigrants. This is what I'm gonna tell you to our Hispanic tribe. If you have that issue, call the ISUPK. The ISUPK will send a brother down there to go get your kids from them folk. Let me go down there for you. You understand? Let me go down there for you. I'm gonna go down there for you because you might not be able to go down there. Right? ICE is doing what? Arresting folk at their jobs. You know you got to go to work. How do they, what you don't understand is how do they have this information? How do they know where you work at, where your kids at? They've been watching you the entire time. The Bible says that they hunt us in our streets. That's them hunting you in your streets, attacking you at your kids' school, attacking you at your job, right?
Okay.
Sir, you saying something?
No, I just want to harp on that point of, it's saying 95% of us filled up that prison in Philadelphia. And I believe there's another statistic that also says, or it would be good to look up the percentage of blacks inside of Philadelphia during that time, because this isn't a city that's just black. You know what I mean? So, like this is a straight attack on our community. You know what I mean? And this is as recent as 1970. This isn't something 400 years ago, which those devils love to say that. You know what I mean? Slavery was so long ago. You know what I mean? All that slavery is over. Because when we bring up those crimes of being lynched and stuff like that, they love to say, well, like we read in this article, they don't lynch us anymore because they found a new way to do it. You know what I mean? Lynching wasn't looking good on our track record, so we're going to stop. You try to say that you're being hunted now in 2025, they're going to say, what are you talking about? Like it says in Psalms, their words were smoother than butter.
Than butter.
You know what I mean? They're going to say, well, cops are killing whites too. White people are committing crimes and police officers are unaliving them too. They would love to group us with other people as if, the crimes being done to our people are just in our heads. But, you read statistics like this, how do you say that this is an attack on blacks when the entire prison is full of us? How do you say that? You're gonna show me some proof that says white people don't commit crimes?
Hey, I got a whole lot of white people don't commit crimes. All you gotta do is ask white people.
They tell you they commit crimes.
White people be like, look, but their crimes ain't as bad as our crimes. Ask white people. White people crimes. White people will tell you their crimes are not as bad as our crimes. Right? Understand this. Black people steal out the stove. White people steal countries. Right? A black man may rob a bank. White man steal nations. You see? Yeah, because once you steal a nation, guess what you can do? You can rewrite the history. Now it's no longer a criminalistic behavior. It's the spoils of war.
A Hispanic man, he crosses a plot of land. He's an immigrant. But the white man, he takes an entire fucking country. Yeah, he's not the fucking immigrant. Salakia for my language.
Hey, sir, real quick, that counterinsurgency, right? That word, that long word we looked at, counterinsurgency. Check this definition out. It says military or political action taken against the activities of guerrillas or revolutionaries.
Damn.
Right? Hispanics and Hispanics and Native Americans are revolutionary. Who they call the monkey? That's what a guerrilla is, right? And what's so heavy is that this is a military tactic designed, right? They use this military tactic to go against black, Native Americans, and Hispanics, right? You got tanks and nukes against people who ain't got baseball bats, right? We seen it in what country was that where they was throwing the rocks at the tank and they was just running their ass over with the tanks. Like, man, get out there and rock. It was like over there in Palestine or I don't know, one of those Middle Eastern countries. Tanks rolling through the city and they throwing rocks at the tank. Like, all his faith, right? The Islamic faith is in this rock. Because they kiss rocks too. They probably hated black people because we smoke rocks, but we stopped. So they all this faith in this rock. And he taking this rock and he want this rock to be powered by God to go against this tank. And he just bounce out. Bing. And they smash your ass with the tank.
God.
Right. So think about it. In the riots of 67, I believe it was. I remember my mother was telling me about it and how they had to stay in the house. This is in the city of Detroit. They had to stay in the house, right? Because it was tanks rolling down the street. Right. You had military vehicles patrolling neighborhoods. Right. You got military vehicles patrolling neighborhoods. 68. It was 68. You got military vehicles patrolling neighborhoods. You got tanks rolling down main streets. Right. In the hood. In the hood. Tell me, when have you known for military vehicles to ride in one of these devil's neighborhoods? I don't think, if anybody online that's watching us, if you have some information, an article or something that talks about military vehicles patrolling the devil's neighborhoods, let me know.
I got a question, Ahaba.
Please.
When they stormed the Capitol itself, the capital of capitals, was the military out there?
No. They got rid of the police. They told the police to stand down.
Good night.
Right? Didn't they? Was that the police they told to stand down and stand by, or was that the Proud Boys they told to stand down and stand by?
I don't remember.
Somebody was told to stand down.
I know somebody was taking a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Yeah. Imagine coming to y'all, you're like, what the? Like, Nancy, don't come here right now. You gotta clean your desk off and shit on it.
White people aren't criminals, Abawan. You know what I mean?
But they like to shit on desks. What I don't understand is, what was that famous basketball player for the Celtics? The one that got all the rings, the brother. Him. His house.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And I remember his name. I brought an article out years ago where it said that his house was broken into. They broke into his house, and they wrote nigger all throughout the house and stuff like that, tore his stuff up, damaged his stuff, and then they took a shit in his bed.
Dang.
I don't know what it is with white people and breaking into stuff and shitting on stuff, right? Because as a black, you never hear about black people breaking into your house and shitting. There's the television, jury, stuff like that. Depending on what type of thief come in your house, you might go in your refrigerator because he's doing this because he's hungry. He's trying to feed himself or his family.
Yeah.
Right. Why, why didn't you shit before you did this raid? You see something, sir?
Nah.
Oh, okay. It's just I don't understand why these individuals, what makes them think, okay, I'm gonna break into this and destroy it, and then I'm gonna take a dump. You didn't have to shit before you should have known, like, oh man, before we do this raid, let me hit the bathroom. Like, I'm the type of person that, I got to be in class. Okay, so the class started at 7. I got to be there at 6 and get everything set up, right? I'm going to catch me a nap from 4:30 to 5:30. From 5:30 to 6 o'clock, I'm going to hit the restroom. And then, that way, when I get to the school at 6 o'clock, I don't got to take it. Like, sir, you hold this down. I come back. But in order for him to take a crap on Nancy Pelosi's desk, understand there's people around watching. I'm like, yeah. Listen here, Israel. Shayarwan and myself, we are not criminals, right? They're not thieves. But if we was to break into something, we're not leaving behind no DNA evidence. Right? You know who did that because there's DNA evidence in it. And you can take DNA evidence and you can track it. Now, I hate to be the forensic scientist on this case, but yes, we know exactly who the criminal was. Why? We have his DNA. Well, how did you collect the criminal's DNA? Dang. There was a turd on the desk. There was a turd on. Yes. And the judge was like, I'm gonna make that inadmissible in court. You got pictures of how you collected the DNA status, the sample, and everything, because you got to take pictures. So that's crazy. A forensic scientist there taking pictures of this turd on Nancy Pelosi. He got to ship it to the lab so they can do DNA testing, so they can find out what individual pulled his pants down and took a crap on the desk. Wow, they got cameras to show you the other individuals rooting that person on.
Man, and if I may, I'm the only reason I'm laughing is because I'm laughing at how disgusting Esau is. Salaki.
Right. Damn right. And then understand is that the forensic scientists, think about how much money your oppressor made from this oppressor shitting on Nancy Pelosi desk. Because think about it, now they raided the Capitol. You got to bring the police in. You got to bring investigators in, right? Now you bring the investigators in. You got cameras, right? You got to get the IT people to go through the camera footage, right? Mm-hmm. Now you got camera. Now you got the DNA, right? You got the DNA on the turd. You bring the forensic scientist in. He got to do the samples, right? Not only is that, you got to ship it off to the lab to get an analysis of this turd, right? So you got to pay the people to run those diagnostics, right? Then you got to pay, prosecuting attorneys, right, to come up with a legal plan to prosecute the individual that took the dump. Think how much money Esau is making off of a shit. You see? and it's the same with us. When one of our brothers unalive another one of our brothers, right? They got to bring the policing team, the forensic team, the policing team, the forensic team, the detective team, right? The prosecuting team, right? Then the legal team, as far as the attorneys, right? Whether it be the plaintiff or the defendant, and then you got the judicial team. Think how much money Esau is making off of one individual unaliving another individual. He wants you to do it because he about the bread.
That's right.
Esau is still pissed that he was only blessed with the sword.
Yeah.
Think about it. He cried, "Ain't you gonna give me a blessing too?"
Yep.
He cried to Isaac, "Ain't you gonna give me a blessing too?" Right? It sounds like Esau. Like, understand that you heard of a term sore winners, sore losers. Mm-hmm. You heard the term sore losers. Esau is a sore winner.
That's right.
Right? Think about it. We win, and just say you know you're gonna dominate a person in whatever it is. Right? You see Captain Cesario going to these debates. He already know he about to dominate this dummy. right? But he keep it, think about it, he keep it at the debate. After the debate, what up with you, blah, 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 right? He don't carry it on like, yeah, man, I did blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, and plus, this say so. He don't keep it going. It's during the debate, and he let it go. Esau, there are sore losers and sore winners. Anybody that's carrying a Confederate flag is a sore loser. You lost, right? You got the flag of a loser. You lost the Civil War. You're carrying the flag of a loser, of people that lost the war, right? You lost. The North won. So now this America has taken on the policies of the Northerners that won the Civil War. And it's still designed to destroy Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. You got anything else, sir? It look like we're running a little bit over.
Yeah, we're over the time. I'll close out.
All right.
I'll just add, what something Ahabalan was just saying is so heavy. And we should always remember that Esau will always be jealous of the blessing that we got. You know what I mean? He will always be jealous of Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous. You know what I mean? And that's never going to change. So with that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Water for tuning in. Make sure you share these classes. And don't miss Captain Dar's scripture breakdown tomorrow from 7 till 9 p.m. All right? So with that, we're going to say Shalom, Israel.